Centerpoint Archery, celebrating the timeless traditions of bow hunting. Inline vertical crossbows and draw lock. For bow hunters and target shooters worldwide, Crossbow Accessory Company, manufacturing safe and portable crossbow decocking system. And Taiwee, live your passion, Taiwee. Raven Crossbows, relentless innovation, that's the Raven way. And Crossbow Hunters of Minnesota, aim true and hunt free. Hello everybody, welcome to another video by Crossbow Hunters of Minnesota. My name is Michael Keeler, creator and owner of Crossbow Hunters of Minnesota. And today I would like to show you guys a product that is out there. It's called a Mini Vertical Crossbow. And it's from Hickory Creek. And if you're into crossbows or just looking for a crossbow, this is pretty unique and it's incredibly easy to use, but it has the power to get the job done. So this could be the crossbow maybe that you've been looking for. So we're going to take a look at that today, and I'm going to go through the features on the bow and everything and show you how to set the poundage and you know, how to use the scope, different things that are on this crossbow that comes with it. So sit back, grab a cup of coffee, and we'll get started. The Mini Vertical Crossbow, they're made in Mississippi, like I was saying, at Hickory Creek. Vertical crossbows and draw lock. You can find them at www.verticalcrossbow.com. And the VCBs come in right and left-handed versions, with camel limbs and a black body, a scope, and you get 3 arrows, a quiver. Everything comes in that package and it's ready to shoot. So next I'm going to take you over to the workbench and we're going to have a look at this vertical crossbow, and we're going to go over, I'm going to show you how easy it is to change the poundage on this crossbow to make it easier to draw for some. And we'll also take a look at some of the safety items like the anti-fire and the trigger safety and your cheek guard. And then we'll look at the scope and how that you can adjust that. Okay, here we're up on the workbench here. This is the Mini Vertical Crossbow. And what I'd like to go over first is the trigger. And the trigger has a safety on it here, and I'd like to show you that first. So I'm going to turn this up so hopefully you guys can see it a little better. And I wanted to take a look at this, show you just exactly how that's going to work. So on your trigger here, you have a latch right in here that will open to unlock or turn the safety off on the trigger, and then you can pull it back over so you can't fire it. So that's how our safety works on this trigger here. Real simple, straightforward. So the next feature that I'd like to show you is going to be the cheek guard area. And what we have in the cheek guard area here is the cover actually is for dust and also for your safety on your cheek when you're holding this up against your body. And this just slides back open, so as you're cocking this bow, bringing the string up to be hooked onto this silver lever right here that is in conjunction with your trigger. And this is your anti-fire right here. You want to make sure that your arrow lays on top of this here. Let me grab one of these arrows. They send 3 arrows with this bow also, and a quiver. I think I mentioned that, but okay, I'll show you here. So if we put this in here correctly, this would snap onto your string, but this would be holding your arrow, would be holding that down. So without an arrow in there, you still wouldn't be able to dry fire your bow, which is what you want. That's a good safety feature also. And then, like I talked about, your cheek cover and dust cover here. Okay, so that covers that. Now what we need to do is we need to probably go take a look at, let's look at the string. Okay, working our way down the bow, we look at the string here. We have a string, and on the string it comes with 2 silencers on it. And then the string loop here, and that string loop, this is where it hooks to this, up to there where that trigger, that gold trigger bar is that we've seen up on by the cheek guard. This gets pulled up towards that and hooked onto there, and then your arrow will hook right in here on your string. Okay, so that's a look at the string. Pretty simple, very basic, and easy to use. One other thing I'd like to mention before we go on to the scope here is this loop system and string system, and the arrow rest that's set up on here. These are all work together to give you a precise and a consistent draw and nock placement, which makes your vertical crossbow very accurate. It also eliminates the need for that arrow to run on a rail like you would see on a conventional horizontal crossbow. Another feature that comes with this crossbow is a scope. And this scope, I changed the stock scope out. I put this Luminex scope on because I wanted it to be illuminated on the radicals. But it comes with the scope, and what I'm going to show you on this goes the same for that scope as this one. First, you have your brackets that mount to your actual vertical crossbow here, and these here, let me see if I can get zoomed in on these a little bit better, but these here will actually allow you to move your scope up and down for height this way. We also have adjustments that we can move on our bracket here that allow you to move your scope in and out to get your correct field of view and eye placement in that. And then of course you have your Picatinny adjustment brackets right here that are on this Picatinny rail. So you have several different adjustments. I mean, you can adjust this at an angle this way, and however it's going to fit you as the shooter, and that'll give you a better field of view with your scope and more comfortable feeling for your scope. Also, to make these micro adjustments on the scope. Now the scope comes set up from the factory. Okay, so Jerry there, he sets all these bows up before he sends them out, and he has them sighted in as far as your scope set, but you may have to do some micro adjustments on there to get it exactly where you want it to shoot. And it's, you know, it's the same as you would for just about any other scope out there on the market. So the first thing we want to look at are these 2 caps here. This one is on this scope because of the illuminated radicals. So the scope that comes with this has these two adjustments here. Now you want to screw these caps, and you take the cap off, and inside these caps there are adjustments for your radical inside your scope, and this would be for your horizontal, and this one is for your windage, left and right. So you may have to use these. They just click, and it tells you whether to go up. If you want to go up, in other words, if you need to raise up your arrow because it's hitting too low, then you can raise it up in that direction, and this one it tells you which way is left, so you know left or right. But those are how those adjustments are made. And I know when I first got this from Jerry and I set up, I had to make those adjustments on the stock scope. So just a little insight there on how that's to be done. Now you got to remember too that all of these things that we're going through here are on the website at www.verticalcrossbows.com. They show you, they have videos on all of this too, on how to make a string loop for your string, all the way to replacing triggers on your bow, to setting poundage, to going through your scope, and all the safety videos are there too, which is recommended that you watch those if you decide to purchase one. Alright, next thing we're going to look at is the poundage on your crossbow. I don't know if you've ever hunted with a compound crossbow that works pretty much the exact same way as this one. You have a bolt here on your limb that you can turn to set the poundage that you want to shoot with, that's comfortable for you. Some of the younger shooters, some of the ladies that shoot want a little bit less poundage, and most of the guys that hunt and stuff, just it goes to full poundage, and I'll get into some of those specs here. You would just take an Allen wrench to adjust this, but always remember there's one on the other side on your other limb, and you need to adjust them the same amount to keep the balance with your limbs together. So that's about all there is to really adjusting that there. And then you can also see it comes with a nice foot stirrup, and those stirrups are boot size, so a guy can stick a boot in there if he's got it on. It comes apart. You can take this apart also fairly easy by just taking this thumb screw right here out. You can unscrew it and pull it apart, and it has a whisker biscuit type arrow rest there, as you can see, which are really nice because you can turn this thing any direction you want, and that arrow stays right in there. So that helps if you're out, stalking and trying to stalk on a deer, and you won't want an arrow falling out of your rest. So yeah. So that's pretty much all there is to that. I'm going to show you now how we draw this and how easy that is to draw it and to decock it, which is another benefit of this bow, because when you decock this, you do not have to shoot an arrow into the ground. You do not have to shoot it into a target or any of that, or use a decocking system on it. It's straightforward. You can load it manually and unload it manually. So let's take a look at how we do that. Okay, well, here we are. We're outside here. I'm going to show you guys how this crossbow, this vertical crossbow from Hickory Creek, how we go ahead and we load it. So just back up here a little bit. You can see this. The main thing when you do this is to remember that keep your string straight. So if you're pulling up on this, you keep the string straight this way, up and down, because if you pull it out, if you pull this string out, you're going to come off of your cams right here, and then you have to try to get that put back together. So let's just be aware of that right there. And what we're going to do, we're going to put our cheek guard up, and then we're going to take this string and we're going to pull our loop that we talked about up here onto this gold trigger right here. The finger that holds that string on there. So I'll show you how I do that. Just like that. Okay, safety's on. It's ready to go. You put an arrow in it and it is ready to fire. And so let's just say, for instance, we were talking about, you know, when you go out and you're hunting, you don't get to discharge your arrow. You don't have to shoot this in the ground or into a target or nothing. You can just discharge it yourself. That's it right there. That's all there is to it. If you're interested in purchasing one of these, or you have more questions about them, I would go to their website, verticalcrossbows.com, and there's a phone number I'll put up here too. You can contact Jerry. He'd be more than willing to help you guys pick out a crossbow setup. And then you can check out all the accessories too. Remember, there's a crank for this that you can use, or there is a rope too that you can use to cock this. So, you know, again, if you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And until next time, always remember, aim true and hunt free.